I put my tag in the, someone else. I'm on here with a bunch of these budget names. I don't like the school.
That's not the image I needed.
You're butter.
They have different laws like that.
I just hate
You know, he said he started to sit up.
If anybody wants to sign up to speak at the public hearing, there's a sign-up sheet right here. We're going to go ahead and call the June 23rd meeting of the Hickman County Legislative Body to order. If the clerk would call the roll.
Clay Chester. Here. Danny Clark. Todd Collins. Wayne Thomas.
Here.
Steve Janakis.
Here.
Dusty Jordan.
Here.
Ron Mayberry.
Here.
Wiley McNair.
Here.
Ron Puckett.
Here.
Ricky Murray.
Here.
Nash.
Here.
Devin Pickard.
Here.
Barnhill.
Here.
Bob Callicott.
Here.
12 present, 2 absent.
12 present, 2 absent. We have a quorum. If you'll all stand, Commissioner Jordan is going to lead us in opening prayer, and Commissioner Giannakis in the pledge.
Right. Lord, I thank you for this day that you've given us, Lord, and I just ask you to be with each and every one of us commissioners and make us to realize and remember we're doing the business of this county and the citizens that live here, Lord. Lord, I ask you to bless our military, bless our leaders, Lord, bless those people who are in Israel, Lord, that have suffered, and keep that ceasefire in place, Lord. I ask you to be with our government, be with us, Lord. So pray in Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A couple of announcements before we begin. Commissioner Clark is not here. He was active all day. He went home and mowed some grass, and he is not sure what happened, but he had to be rushed to the emergency room with an allergic reaction. They're not sure if it was weeds, grass, mold, or something, but they got him on a lot of antihistamines, which I think makes you jittery. I know that you think that would be, you could not notice that with him, but it was actually noticeable. So everybody needs to keep him in our thoughts. He said he's going to try to be on YouTube and watch us tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I spoke with the mayor before, in fact, just when I came in the parking lot. I talked to him several times earlier today. He is, as you're aware, had a medical issue this week, or last week. He has a doctor's appointment on Thursday where they'll give him the update as far as what he can and can't do. So he'll have a lot better picture of what his life's going to look like after that. I think he looks forward to being back in the office, at least on a temporary basis, off and on next week. And so I know that we need to continue to keep the mayor in our prayers. In his absence, we had several things that came up, and we were very fortunate that we had some committee chairmen who took over, and the EMS station, Commissioner Clark's not here, but he stepped in and along with Matt and Eric, made sure that we are still pursuing that like we should. The East Convenience Center, Wally was helpful in taking care of that, and then we had some staffing changes in the planning and zoning, and Commissioner Callicott stepped up to take care of that. So appreciate all those chairmen doing that, and I'm sure the mayor wanted me to say thank you to those guys, and he looks forward to being back in next week. The last announcement before we get going, we had a property sale, the auction, a couple weeks ago. All of that is moving along towards a closing. One of the issues that we had was that there was a carve out for the 911 tower on the Highway 7 property. That means that plat had to be revised, and that plat has been revised. The new high bidders have seen that new plat. Everybody, they're happy with that, and so that last little bit of that has gone into place. If there's not an objection, David, is there anything to kind of close that business out that you're aware of?
Should close Friday,
Okay, on both?
as soon as the attorney, Mr. Dan, approves both deeds, it'll be ready to close.
Very good, very good. I believe that's kind of wraps up that. You got in your packet an agenda. There is one change that we're going to need to make. You see that there's a budget amendment on the table in front of you. That budget amendment is in regards to the settlement of the beer lawsuit, and we need to take that up. In order to do that, we will need to have a vote in the, that we approve this agenda to set aside the rules and to place that budget amendment under new business. So if the chair wants to get ready to do that, then we'd love to have a motion to do exactly that so we can add it for tonight. So that motion would be to set aside the rules and place that on the agenda under new business. So with that being said, we have an agenda on that has been presented. The chair to entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Thomason, second by Commissioner Calicott. Any discussion? Thank you.
Like to amend the agenda by placing this.
To make, Commissioner Mayberry is making a motion to set aside the rules and add the budget amendment under, that budget amendment is 25-83 under new business. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Pickard. Any discussion on the motion to amend? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You have an agenda before you as amended. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We have an agenda. Public comment period. No one signed up to speak at the public comment period. Adoption of the minutes of the 27th, our last meeting. The next item up.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Giannakis, second by Commissioner Mayberry. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The chair is unaware of any special recognition, memorials, commendations. Anybody got anything? Elections, appointments, and confirmations. I don't believe there's any elections that are due tonight. Under notaries, we have one, and that is for Mr. Riley Reed. Riley Reed to be a notary here in the county. We have a motion to approve that. Motion by Commissioner Giannakis, second by Commissioner Barnhill. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Clay Chester.
Yes.
Wayne Thomason.
Yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
Ron Mayberry.
Yes.
Wiley McNair.
Yes.
Ron Puckett.
Yes.
Ricky Murray.
Yes.
Keith Nash.
Yes.
David Pickard.
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill.
Yes.
Paul Calicott.
Yes.
12 yes, 2 absent.
12 yes, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
12 yes, 2 absent.
Notaries approved. Are there any other appointments? I don't think there are any bonds to approve. We have no quarterly reports tonight. There's no communication from the mayor other than he wishes to thank everybody for keeping him in your prayers. And he said he looks forward to seeing everybody. Monthly reports. Planning Commission.
Planning Commission. All right, I'm gonna come up here. If I can hear me on all the things. It might take a little while. First off, I think he's come in, but, and we've announced this before, Robert Axon's retiring into this month. Appreciate the work that he did for the county. Transitioned our county. Our county has grown quite a bit. His office duties grew quite a bit. He handled them well, and I hope he enjoys his retirement. I'm sure that he will. The next thing is, and the mayor would be the one doing this, but the mayor's hired Austin Brown as the new planning and zoning director. Austin will start July the 1st. Y'all will get to know him. I'll let him kind of tell his own story, but he's been working in the Jackson-Madison office the last couple of years, their planning office. So he comes to us from there. Look forward to him starting July 1. We had a couple of things on the, in the June meeting that was not the land use plan, and that all those are in your packet. If you've got any questions before I start in on the land use plan, I'll take any questions on anything that went on at that meeting from the minutes. Okay? All right, now for the land use plan. And I made a few notes here. I'm gonna try to stay on task and in line. The Planning Commission received the first draft of the land use plan the last week of May. And that's when they told us they would get it to us. There's a few other things that were not included in that. That'll be coming a little bit later. The Planning Commission, they came into Robert's office. Robert sent it to me. We sent it out to the Planning Commission so they can be looking at it. The discussion will start on that next Tuesday, July the 1st. That our Planning Commission meets the first Tuesday of every month at 6:30 right here. We have Grisham Smith coming on the July 1 meeting. And so they will be here and will be presenting the draft. The draft is on the county website. I think it's other places. There are some mistakes. It's a draft. There's a few little things here and there, and we're going to start talking about that at the July 1 meeting. But I do feel like that it's important to kind of talk about what the land use plan is, and I understand there's some of you in the room that are looking at me like, we've heard this from you for the last year and a half, but I'm gonna go through a lot of it, same things again. The first thing that I think everybody needs to understand is there's a difference between our zoning provisions and the land use plan. The land use plan is a guide for the provisions. It's supposed to help with those. The zoning provisions, that is the law. Now, I put mine in a green notebook, but it says the zoning resolution of Hickman County. I don't know how many pages of it. It's pretty long. Whenever I get asked a question, I don't know everything that's in this book. I have to go through, find the section, find all that it's in there, and that's what governs what the Director of Planning and Zoning, how he enforces those provisions. It governs what the Planning Commission does, like approving subdivision plats and things like that. It's all, everything that is allowed, things that are not allowed, restrictions, setbacks, all those things, it's in the zoning resolution, Hickman County. This was passed by it is passed by you, the legislative body. And it changes. It changes. When things need to be changed, the Planning Commission sends it up to us, the legislative body, and we vote on it. Okay, but this is the law. This is the policy document. This is what everything goes from. And everything is in this book, from subdivision requirements to the zoning, what is allowed, what is restricted in R1, R2, A1, commercial zoning, all those things. It's in this book right here. When Robert's been doing the job, this is the book that Robert goes by. Okay, this is the law. These are the provisions. This is the policy document. Okay. Now, if there is a change that is made to this, the only way that change is made is that it comes out of the planning commission after it's discussed. Recommendation comes out of the planning commission and comes to the county legislative body. There's a public hearing at the, a public comment period at the planning commission. There's a public comment period at the county commission. But in order to change this book, in order to change the rules, the legislative body, we have to approve it. Now, there is a change to this book that's coming tonight. That's the resolution, I can't remember which number it is. But anytime this book changes, it has to come up here to the legislative body for approval. The change that, the resolution tonight, the change is that if there is a change to this book done, in the past, there was only one public comment period that was done, and then there was a vote. Planning Commission felt like that was unfair. It was unfair to the commissioners because you would hear it hear it in a public meeting for the first time, and then you have to turn around and vote. Doesn't give you any time to do your own research, after you've heard the public comments, any of that. So the change that is proposed out of the Planning Commission is that there will be two public comment periods. And if it passes, and I hope it does tonight, when something comes from the Planning Commission to change this book, that's gonna come up to us, legislative body, at the end of that month. The Planning Commission meets on the first Tuesday of every month. When it comes to us, on the fourth Monday, there's gonna be a public comment period. But the comment can weigh in, if they like, don't like, all those things. Then there's gonna be a full 30 days, or a full month. Then there'll be another public comment period, and then we will vote. What that does is that gives more time for the word to get out, and I'll back up. Anytime that there is a change that's proposed out of the Planning Commission, the public notice, it's done in the paper. I mean, there's a time period that everything has to be. There's nothing that is a surprise that comes out of that. But now, if this passes, there'll be two public comment periods before there is a vote. And we're gonna be voting on that tonight later on. But this book right here this is the law. These are the rules. The land use plan is different. Now, I don't have a color copy, but this is my copy of the land use plan. It's a little bit tattered, okay? I've been going through it a little bit over the last month. Now, and I understand why there could be some confusion. If you don't do planning and zoning every day, this is a lot. This is a lot. It's hard, it's a lot to keep up with. I didn't know what a land use plan was 2 years ago. Robert started bringing it up. Hey, we gotta update the land use plan. It's been 20 years. And I didn't even know where to start. And so I can understand how that people, they really don't know what we were working on until they saw a copy of it. When we started working on it, I was able to get a hold of a couple different counties, saw how they did it. Each county does it different, but I had a little bit better idea about what we were after and what we were working to. The state requires each county to update the land use plan every 20 years. They advise that we look at it, modify it sooner than that. That doesn't always happen, but we've got to update one every 20 years. I wish Danny was here. He's been doing this a whole lot longer than I am, and Danny's really good about pointing out when I say something wrong. I wish he was here. We came up on our 20-year anniversary, and it was our time to update the land use plan. And so we started looking into what all it was going to take. We did not have the man hours. Everybody was busy. We got a recommendation, and I cannot remember who it was from. We got some advice to go outside the county and bring a group in to help us with it. It was that was one of the best decisions that we made. The hours that it takes to put all this together, nobody had time to do it. And also the recommendation is that when the public engagement happens, if you have somebody that is outside that they don't know, they might open up more, might be a little bit more honest about things that they're concerned about, that they're worried about. And so the dialogue is better. So we put out requests, and I can't remember, now Robert's come in, I can't remember how many that we got back, but it was clear that Gresham Smith was really the only one that kind of fit, because they're semi-local, they're out of Nashville. They were gonna be more hands-on, and that's the decision that we went with, and I remember telling Robert, I hope they're good, and they were, they did a good job. But their first step was to start gathering all the statistics. And because a lot of what the land use plan comes from is the infrastructure. So they were looking at our roads, electric, water, sewer, density where houses are, density where there's not much density of houses, where the growth is, all those different things. They were pulling all the statistics, looking at housing rates and stuff, and they did all that work, they put that together. Then the next step was the public engagement. And we had 4 public engagement meetings. East, Pinewood, Shady Grove, and here in Center. The first round of public engagements, and this was Gresham Smith's plan, their first round was just to gather what the public, and it was kind of like if you could make a wish and Hickman County would look like this, what would it be? And so they gathered that, they pulled, and they were talking to people, they had some boards up, some activities. Then they went back, they started putting all that together, and they met with stakeholders. That was utility districts, Meriwether Lewis, school system, I think the sheriff was in on that, and started talking about the data that they collected, infrastructure, all those types of issues. And then we had the second round of public engagement periods. Same spots, they were 2 hours long, and they had scenarios. What do you like about this? What do you not like about it? What would you like to see? Then they took all that data, put it together, and that's where they came up with this future land use, the draft, okay? That's where they got all this. And that was the process, how they came up with the land use plan. I'll stop right now. Commissioners, you got any questions for me? Okay. Now, we have the draft in front of us now, and this will be, Gresham Smith's gonna come and we're gonna discuss it at the planning commission meeting next Tuesday. They're gonna present it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions. You got 11 members on the planning commission. Feel like we've got a really good planning commission. They're really good about showing up and very thoughtful. And I look forward to the discussion. At some point in time, the planning commission will approve a version of this document. I'm sure it will, I assume it will change from what it is right now after the discussion. Now, there could be a vote on July 1st to approve whatever is there, and it will come to us. I don't think that will happen, because I think there's just a lot for us to get through on one meeting. I might be wrong, but that we're gonna start discussing it on July the 1st. And at some point in time, it will come out of the planning commission and it will come here. And then we will have another round of public comment period. And now there's gonna be a public comment period every planning commission meeting. The first Tuesday of every month at 6:30, everybody will have a chance, because it's gonna be on the agenda, it's been on the agenda. And everybody, the public will have a chance to voice their concerns. But when it comes here, there will be a public comment, and if that resolution passes, there'll be 2 public comments, there'll be 2 hearings before we will vote to approve this. Whenever this is approved, months down the line, by this body, it does not change this book. Any change to this book will have to come out of the planning commission and be voted on then. Now, Gresham Smith made some recommendations. Okay, they made some recommendations for the county, from what they gathered to where the county's going, because it's called the Future Land Use Plan. They made recommendations. The planning commission might take up those recommendations, they may not. But no, this book will not change when this is approved, when this is approved. Now, there are some things that are quite a bit different, one being the future, the growth area. And I'm sure everybody's seen the map. That area is bigger, okay? Now, how that affects is, if the way things are written in the book right here, is that if you want to go to R1 zoning, you have to be in that area. That area is gonna be larger, okay? Now, if we choose to change that growth area, it's gonna have to be a vote done by the legislative body. It'll come up to us, we'll discuss it, all the things, and then we'll vote whether or not to change it or not. But even when this is approved, it does not change any zoning. It does not, it doesn't change any of this book. We have to vote separately to change this book. So, I hope that kind of clears up some things. I had a few phone calls, some emails, and I think after I kind of went through the differences, everybody understood it a little bit better. I know there's been quite a buzz. And again, this is on the website, and it is a draft, but it is on the website. I encourage everybody, if you haven't read it, to read it. I understand that we live in the information age, and I'm just as bad as anybody else. My attention span, it's worse now than it was 20 years ago. I would love to have a little bit of blurb or whatever, but you just cannot get the full effect of this plan until you read it front to back. And there's gonna be a lot of discussion. It's gonna take some time to go through this. And I mean, there's a lot of things that the state does that I think are a waste of time. This is not one of them. I think this is really good for counties to take the snapshot and see where we are, see where we wanna go, and all of that. And I appreciate the way Grisham Smith, they handled everything, gathering the data, the public engagement, all those things. I appreciate how they did. But if you haven't read it cover to cover, read it. And because there's gonna be a lot of discussion.
Any questions from planning and zoning? Commissioner Pickard?
Couple things. So because of the interest in this, I know they're not normally live streamed, but will they, since Casey doesn't do anything anyway, could we have those live streamed? Is that possible?
I mean, I think that's great. I mean, we've live streamed a few of the planning commission meetings. I mean, I don't know.
It's just a suggestion.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna be on vacation or, he's checking his calendar.
Yeah, I'll do.
Mr. Pickard. So,
Question number 2.
Yeah.
And they're one and the same. Just real quick, and it may be the elephant in the room. So what's been the number one positive response that you have gotten or you've heard from other commissioners about the land use, and what's the negative? And it may be the same thing, I don't know.
from commissioners?
Period.
Oh, just from anybody? I really have not, there hasn't been too many people that have contacted me. And that has surprised me. I've received 3 phone calls and 1 email. And so, but it's been mixed. The negative that I've heard is the recommendation on the agricultural zoning going to 5 acres. And after I explained, how that would come into, and the discussion that needs to happen, that was no longer a concern. There was, and I'll say this, I feel like that through this process, there will be some differences of opinions. There will be some differences on how to do things, but I feel like that most of us want what's best for Hickman County. I mean, I'll say that. And I think everybody needs to remember that. I hope that we have some really good discussion. Over the last couple of years, I've got some friends in other counties. There's 2 that are involved in, one of them's planning commission, one of them works in one of the planning commission's office. And And cause it's, I mean, I feel like that there's a reason why there's 14 of us, there's a reason why there's 11 on the planning commission. I don't think one person has all the answers. And so I've tried to look at what other counties are doing, why they did it, how they did it, what worked and what didn't work. I mean, if counties have made a mistake, then we can learn from that. If counties got something that's, you know, it's fixed this problem, then I think that's great. The positive that I've heard is, just the way the document was compiled. I mean, when you read it, it makes sense. I mean, they agreed with kind of where the county is, you know, the areas of concern. And then the map made sense to them, I mean, because there's a lot of our county that's up and down timber, you know, and if there's, I mean, when you look at the public engagement, when it came out of east, they were wanting growth. I mean, and so that was the positive that I got back from the plan. And I feel like that the other discussion, because it was, I ran into a couple of people and I brought it up. They didn't bring it up to me. I brought it up to them. And after the procedure was explained, a lot of things made sense. So.
Anything else for Commissioner Calcott?
One more time. The first Tuesday of every month at 6:30, unless there's a holiday. Okay? If there's a holiday, we're gonna move it. Okay? First Tuesday of every month at 6:30. There's no better place to be on a Tuesday night than right here in this room talking about planning and zoning. And and so I encourage everyone to come, and it will be on the agenda until it leaves the planning commission. And so, and I understand that people want to watch it online, and and we can't be everywhere at once. And I'm glad that our clerk is stepping up to the plate and gonna get that, live streamed. I appreciate that. But if you can be in person, that would be best. But the first Tuesday, yes, sir.
I wanna just clarify when you say about the land use plan, the drafts are old enough, whatever version of that passes, there's people that misunderstood that.
Okay.
before. Okay. And that's not the version that's gonna pass, they don't think.
No.
So whatever version of that passes.
Right, yeah, it's gonna change. I think it's already changed because it was, I mean, I sent them some, they had us at 21 commissioners, I've sent them that. I mean, it was one of the graphs had the year 200 instead of 2000. I mean, so it's not the version that's online. I mean, and we'll make sure that whatever draft, whatever version that comes out of the planning commission, whenever it's coming here, we'll make sure that gets on the website, so that everybody can see it. I mean, they'll have there'll be plenty of time, but we'll make sure that it's put out there. Okay. All right, thought I'd have more. All right.
Wally, you gonna stand up here and do a solid waste that long? That's gonna be a hard one to follow, ain't it?
This one should be much easier. Thank you very much. The Solid Waste Committee did meet. The meetings are in your packet. Anybody have any questions, I can answer them. Other than that, that's all I got.
Could you give us an update on the East Community Center?
Right, so as, Jordan's here now.
Yeah.
Yes. This is as of like 2 days ago, but we're on track. I know that they changed the traffic pattern last Friday to move everything over so they can pour the second half. If you don't mind, I'll ask Jordan. Jordan, exactly where we are at today on that?
We're about a little over halfway.
No, I mean as far as pouring the second half. Where are we at?
Begun excavation on the southern half of the site and looking at maybe completing the concrete in a couple weeks.
So I know the project was scheduled for end of July, and we're on track. I'm talking to Jordan, talking to Blasted and everybody. I mean, don't see any issues, even with the weather. Still seems like things are on track to be completed on time.
Any questions for solid waste? Health, Safety, and Properties Committee, I don't know who the vice chairman is. Is that Matthew?
No, it's me.
Oh, there we go.
Let me stand.
Go, come and sit back here. Let's start over.
Well, I can't do it on this one because I was out of town when this one met, and so somebody else might have to handle it. I mean, I've read through all what happened, but
The minutes are in your packet. I'm trying to think if there was really anything that came out of Health and Safety and Properties that we needed to discuss. I mean, again, it was the property stuff, we've already talked about the sale, that was part of the discussion. The safety stuff, I don't remember anything. Commissioner Pickard?
I've got a couple of questions. I think this is where they'll fall, so bear with me. So I think at our last Health, Safety, Properties Committee meeting, I expressed the desire to show Mr. Hudgens, who was the guy who facilitated this record-setting deal of over $1 million between the two properties, between 23 acres and the one on Highway 7. Mr. Hudgens has represented Hickman County in many different deals and opportunities for himself that he chose to decline any payment or maybe do it for $1, whatever. The buyer's premium on those two particular sales together, which would be monies that would go to his company, would have been in excess of $100,000, 10% of that sale. It would be my opinion that because of the magnitude of the sale that was probably beyond anybody's dreams, in a good way, that out of the closing proceedings that I don't know how it would be worded, give back Mr. Hudgens and his company $20,000 of the over 100 that he would be getting. So in that regard, he's still donating over $80,000 to the county. So in lieu of that, I would like to make a motion to, out of the closing proceedings, to give Mr. Hudgens and his company $20,000 buyer's premium.
So, I have a motion by Commissioner Pickard to, let me think of the word I'm going to use right now.
I'm not sure the right word.
That have a motion by Commissioner Pickard to compensate David Hudgens and his company $20,000 for the work that was done in regards to the two public auctions.
And I think paperwork-wise, if it was out of the closing proceedings, then the county wouldn't have to, it would be no extra writing a check or anything, as I understand.
Second by Commissioner Giannakis. Any discussion on the motion that's on the table? And then we'll get a clarification just to make sure, because I think I know exactly what you're saying, but I'm going to ask Kristen. Kristen, we do it in this particular fashion. A budget amendment is not going to be necessary. It's just going to be set aside at the closing. Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Clay Chester.
Yes.
Wayne Thompson.
yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
Ron Mayberry.
Yes.
Wiley McNair.
No?
Ron Puckett.
Yes.
Ricky Murray.
Yes.
Keith Nash.
Yes.
Devin Pickard.
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill.
Yes.
Paul Callicott.
Yes.
11 yes, 1 no, and 2 absent.
11 yes, 1 no, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
11 yes, 1 no, 2 absent.
The motion is approved. Anything else?
Last thing I promise. So the most recent board at the Ag Pavilion has expressed an interest in where are we moving forward on that. Apparently the contract with them expired maybe in March, so it's been in a bit of a limbo, and so there are some monies are sort of having to be held up. It's my understanding, I can't speak completely intelligently about it, but apparently we need to make some decision as to who is going to oversee that property for the next year. Because there are other events coming up, and it was mentioned that, you know, the Banana Pudding Festival is October, and there are several things that need to be happening before that, and they're just not sure who needs to be doing it, because technically they're not under contract in that position. So that's just a question.
I know that this has been heard in the committee. I think the last time that the committee met, did they not choose to defer this down? I mean, I'm trying to remember what, help me out.
I don't know the answer to that, but if the contract did, if it did go out in March, I mean, we're almost at July now, and, you know, budget.
Commissioner Jordan.
I believe when you're talking about deferring it, I believe the two parties had discussed joining forces, and I haven't heard anything about that. Is there anything?
We offered and had a meeting with Devin, but we haven't seen him since. Of course, we haven't really met because we don't know whether to. We just kept some things going on. We're paying utilities, which is supposed to be from the $3,000 we get each year from the county. So our little pool of money is going down fast, and we're just sort of in a standstill. But I'm not sure Devin can give his point of view, but we sort of didn't gel that day, and I don't think he's here. We had different looks, but we tried to extend to come on, and he didn't feel that he could really join us.
That is an accurate statement. We did meet, and we asked Joe if he'd be willing to come on board. The current board said, hey, we'd love to have you join us, because to their, you know, they said, hey, we're kind of on the back end of this. We're going to at some point not do it, and it made sense to me for Joe, because he has shown a great deal of interest. He's been in a lot of our meetings, to join them, let them kind of show him sort of how they've done it. Not that he has to keep doing it that way, but he, and if he was in here, I would say that he just didn't seem really interested in joining their particular group, to at least for this year. So I'm not sure where we're at on that, but they need some direction.
Commissioner Jordan. Commissioner Calhoun.
Well, the last one, I think when it left, when it was in committee, there was two proposals. The recommendation was to see if those could get together. It sounds like that's not happening. So I mean, I would suggest that we, next month in the committee, that we take up those, we look at those two groups and see if coming out of committee that we have a recommendation for the legislative body.
So it needs to be slated for the Properties Committee next month.
I mean, and I understand the time frame on it, and we need to get it hashed out. So.
You good? Okay. Anything else for health, safety, properties? Finance Committee.
Well, I'm not gonna be able to go as long as either one of these, because we only have 10 minutes scheduled for finance anyway. We did meet, minutes are in the packet, we had quorum, so we were able to meet. And I would like to put forth, for approval, the financial summary for May, like that.
Have a motion to approve the May financial summary, second by Commissioner Puckett. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Clyde Chester.
Yes.
Wayne Thomason.
Yes.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
Ron Mayberry.
Yes.
Wiley McNair.
Yes.
Ron Puckett.
Yes.
Ricky Murray. Keith Nash.
Yes.
Devin Pickett.
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill.
Yes.
Bob Calentine.
Yes.
12 yes, 2 absent.
12 yes, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his or her, his vote? 12 yes, 2 absent. Financial summary is approved. Anything else, Commissioner Jordan?
Does anybody got any questions?
Any questions, Finance Committee? Budget, Finance, and Human Resources.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met, the minutes are, from the meeting are in your packet. We have 11 budget amendments to review tonight, and I'll go over those now. I'm going to group 10 of the budget amendments together, and then we'll do one by itself, so. Here we go. 2571 in the amount of $23,712. This is a year-end cleanup for 101. 2572 in the amount of $6,728. This is a grant and a year-end cleanup. And for 101, 2573 in the amount of $11,740.86. And 2374 is also in relation to the same amount. 73 is in relation to account 101. This is the sports gambling adjustment, and then 74 is the 131, goes to the 131 Highway Department for the sports gambling adjustment. That's where that money has been going, allocated to. 2575 in the amount of $7,500. This is 131 Highway Department. This is a payroll cleanup. 2576 in the amount of $1,000. It's for 125 adequate facilities. This is some additional funds needed for the commission. 2577 in the amount of $400. This is in regards to debt service. 151. This is a year-end cleanup. 2578 in the amount of $3,000. This is for 171 capital project. This is reserved use for a renovation project for the health department. 2579 in the amount of $11,596. This is solid waste. This is a year-end cleanup. And 2582 in the amount of $10,000. This is solid waste for some truck repair. And I submit these budget amendments for approval. I'll make a motion.
Have a motion to approve those 10 budget amendments by the chair of the committee, second by Commissioner Chesser. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Wayne Thompson.
Yes.
Steve Chunocky.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan,
Yes.
Ron Mayberry,
Yes.
Wiley McNair,
Yes.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray,
Yes.
Keith Nash,
Yes.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill,
Yes.
Bob Callicott.
Yes.
12 yes, 2 absent.
12 yes, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote? 12 yes, 2 absent. Those budget amendments are approved. Commissioner Young.
2580 in the amount of $75,074.70. This is some TCAP revenue for the school, budget 141. This was approved by their board, and I submit this budget amendment for, make a motion for this budget amendment for approval.
Have a vote, motion to approve by Commissioner Giannakis, second by Commissioner Chesser. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Wayne Thompson.
Yes.
Steve Chunocky.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan.
Yes.
Ron Mayberry,
I work for that bunch, but in the interest of my constituents, I vote yes.
Wiley McNair.
Yes.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray.
Yes.
Keith Nash,
Yes.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill.
Yes.
Bob Callicott.
Yes.
12 yes, 2 absent.
12 yes, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote? 12 yes, 2 absent. Budget amendment is approved.
2581 was not approved. It's in your packet, and that's all that I have.
An update on 2581. 2581 was a budget amendment that was put forth about additional funds required for the EMS station. Matt and Commissioner Clark and Mr. Blysted all got together, and at this time there is no reason that they felt like a budget amendment needed to be approved. May something come up next month, but right now they're not willing to ask for anything. So if you remember that discussion, it was all about additional funds for the EMS station at night. So, anything else? Commissioner Keenan.
That's it.
Health Foundation. Ag Extension Committee. Public Records Committee. Economic and Community Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, gentlemen. My monthly status report is in the packet. Not just a few highlights this evening. So we have applied for our first 3-star grant last week in partnership with the Town of Centerville, Main Street, and the Chamber of Commerce. We went after $75,000 to launch our entrepreneurship program that we talked about in our town hall. So we'll hear perhaps in the coming weeks on whether or not we're approved for that. Great news. I've had several visits this month with many of our local industry, with our state partner, with Randy in our assessor's office. And our local industry is experiencing explosive growth. I don't have any details to share with you tonight, but as things materialize, I think you all will be excited about what's up ahead for the growth in business, the expansion of businesses here, and workforce opportunities for us. And finally, just learned today that I am to attend our very first my first economic development shareholders meeting this Friday in the South Central Tennessee Development District. So I'm looking forward to meeting and connecting with other peer group directors there. Any questions from the report this month? Nothing, Mr. Dustin?
I'm good.
Thank you. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Board of Zoning Appeals,
Minutes should be in the package, and we did have a meeting.
any questions for BZA? Industrial Board did not meet. Opioid Settlement Board. Crystal.
The opioid board met on May 13th to set the next year's application period. We're accepting applications between July 1st and August 31st, and we've got an estimated about $120,000 to disperse.
Animal Shelter Advisory Board. Library Board.
Minutes are in the packet. We had lots of things going on in the library. Anybody come down and see us?
I know the Audit Committee met. There were some minutes in there from the Audit Committee. Who's the chair of the Audit Committee?
Robert Bowman.
Ms. Birmingham. Anything to report out of that, Ms. Crystal?
They just reviewed that audit.
Are there any other board or committee reports? The chair would entertain a motion that these be approved. Motion approved by Commissioner Giannakis, second by Commissioner Jordan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? There is the meeting calendar for next month. Are there any changes that need to be made? We'll be revising this if necessary, sending it out tomorrow. Okay. Is there any unfinished business? Under new business, resolution 2518. This is regarding an increase to the compensation of the members of the County Election Commission of Hickman County, Tennessee. The sponsors are Commissioner Jordan and Commissioner Giannakis. Do either of you wish to speak to this matter?
Yeah. We brought this up at the Budget Committee meeting, and the current pay for the election commissioners, and I explained the responsibilities those 5 people are charged with. And they had asked for $80 a meeting. Commissioner Clark brought up a good point that we pay all constitutional officers the minimum. The minimum for the election commissioner is $55 a meeting. However, in 2006, 2007, that was raised to $80, and if we base it on the minimum, the clerk's, for instance, the clerk's minimum in 2011, 2012 was $61,751. 25-26, you can look at your budget books, clerk's minimum is $98,109. So they've had a 36,000 plus increase. And as I said last meeting, I do feel these commissioners, election commissioners have tremendous responsibility, and we have, Tennessee has some of the fairest and most honest elections in the country. Hickman County is one of the best in the state. So I would like to ask you all to approve this resolution to give them their $100 per meeting.
Commissioner
I echo what Commissioner Jordan.
Anybody else got any comments on resolution 25-18? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Wayne Thompson,
No.
Steve Janakis.
Yes.
Dusty Jordan,
Yes.
Ron Mayberry,
No.
Wiley McNair,
No.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray,
Yes.
Keith Nash,
No.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill,
No.
Paul Calcott.
No.
6 yes, 6 no, 2 absent.
6 yes, 6 no, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his or her vote? Excuse me, his vote?
6 yes, 6 no, 2 absent.
Resolution 25-18 is not approved. Resolution 25-12, in regards to amending the Hickman County zoning resolution relative to section 7.090. This is sponsored by Commissioner Callicott. It was sponsored by Commissioner Clark, but in his absence, I signed on this. This is precisely what Commissioner Callicott was talking about earlier. Commissioner Callicott, you want to speak to this?
No, I don't think I need to say any more. I said it earlier. The main thing is just gets us a little bit longer period and 2 public hearings.
Any other comments or questions on resolution 25-12? Excuse me, 25-22? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Wayne Thompson,
Yes.
Steve Janakis,
Yes.
Dusty Jordan,
Yes.
Ron Mayberry,
Yes.
Wiley McNair,
Yes.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray,
Yes.
Keith Nash,
Yes.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill,
No.
Paul Calcott.
Yes.
11 yes, 1 no, 2 absent.
11 yes, 1 no, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
11 yes, 1 no, 2 absent.
25-22 is adopted. The next item of new business is a budget amendment 25-83. This is the one that showed up tonight. I don't think this was a surprise for anyone, maybe with the exception that what the amount was. So you have the first page, which is the budget amendment itself. The second page is some the breakdown in the judgment between what the county is paying and what the insurance is paying. The chair would entertain a motion for that to be approved. Motion by Commissioner Giannakis, second by Commissioner Calcott. Any discussion on 25-83? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Clay Chester,
Yes.
Wayne Thompson,
Yes.
Steve Janakis,
Yes.
Dusty Jordan,
Yes.
Ron Mayberry,
Yes.
Wiley McNair,
Yes.
Ron Puckett,
Yes.
Ricky Murray,
Yes.
Keith Nash,
Yes.
Devin Pickard,
Yes.
Matthew Barnhill,
Yeah.
Paul Calcott.
Yes.
12 yes, 2 absent.
12 yes, 2 absent. Does any commissioner wish to change his vote?
12 yes, 2 absent.
Budget amendment 2583 is approved. Is there any other business? Are there any announcements or statements? Chair entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Thompson.
I would like to point out the fact that Jim Bates' brother passed away, and hold him in our regards. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Then the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Murray, second by Commissioner Giannakis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I just say it all the time. because they were listening back there on the phone.
That was the last. And also, probably.